The phone rang while I was rinsing a single plate. Just one. The house was silent enough to hear the water breathe. "If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes," my daughter-in-law snapped, her voice sharp with borrowed authority. I stared at the porcelain. White, clean, already done. I smiled. "Enjoy," I said. Click. The call ended too fast, like she was afraid I'd say something contagious. I dried my hands slowly, methodically. That's when the message arrived, an accidental forward, a photo she didn't mean to send me. A man's hand on a leather steering wheel, a watch I recognized, purchased with our money. I didn't blink. I forwarded it back to myself, saved it, labeled it inventory. By the time the water cooled, I already knew this wasn't about disrespect over dinner. This was about theft, betrayal, and the quiet arrogance of people who think age equals blindness. Outside, my driver waited. Switzerland was 3 days away. They had no idea what I was about to take from them. I had built my life on numbers. Numbers don't lie. People do. For months, the accounts had been untidy. Small leaks, rounded transfers, expenses that wore the disguise of household needs. Art supplies, consulting fees, charitable donations routed through shell organizations. My wife handled the family finances now. She said it gave her purpose. I let her believe that. Purpose is a dangerous thing when mixed with entitlement. The lover appeared in fragments, a name mispronounced, a friend who needed help, late nights framed as charity work. I never accused. I never raised my voice. I watched. My daughter-in-law was easier. Greed makes noise. She paraded control like a costume, ordering, belittling, testing how far she could push the old man who paid for everything. They thought I was shrinking. What they didn't understand is that I had simply gone quiet. When the Swiss bank flagged an irregular transfer, 7 figures routed into a startup with no product and no address, I felt nothing. No rage, no heartbreak, just confirmation. I didn't confront them. That would have been inefficient. Instead, I reconstructed their lives. Phone records showed midnight calls. Corporate filings showed my wife listed as an angel investor under a maiden name she hadn't used in decades. The lovers' company specialized in deals that collapsed just after funds were absorbed. A beautiful pattern, symmetrical, predatory. I hired no private investigators. I didn't need drama. I needed precision. I let my daughter-in-law believe she was winning. Let her shout, let her humiliate. While she planned Thanksgiving like a coronation, I finalized the purchase of a lakeside villa in Switzerland, registered under a trust she'd never heard of. Then I did something simple. I sent her photos. The villa, the view, the wine cellar. Within minutes, my phone rang. Once, twice, 71 times. I didn't answer. Power is knowing when silence cuts deeper than words. I confronted my wife in the study, not with anger, with documents. I slid the folder across the desk. Bank statements, corporate records, a photograph of her lover boarding a plane first class on our money. She didn't cry at first. She laughed. Then she saw the last page. A notarized declaration transferring all remaining shared assets into an irrevocable trust, effective yesterday. Her laughter collapsed. I can explain." "I know," I said, and that was the cruelest part. She sank into the chair like gravity had finally noticed her. I didn't expose them publicly. I let systems do it for me. The lovers' company was reported, quietly, to the right authorities. The funds froze. The partners vanished. The man disappeared when the money stopped answering his calls. My daughter-in-law received an invitation,
Not to Thanksgiving, to a legal meeting. She arrived dressed for war, left pale and silent. The inheritance she'd been counting had never existed. The photos weren't a promise. They were a warning. I watched from a distance as reputations decayed, as calls went unanswered, as the world they thought they owned locked its doors. No shouting, no courtroom theatrics, just consequences. I spent Thanksgiving alone, a single plate, a single glass. The lake outside the villa was perfectly still. I thought about trust, how people confuse proximity with entitlement, how betrayal always assumes the victim will beg. I didn't beg. I audited. They wanted control. I wanted truth. In the end, I took everything that mattered, and I didn't have to raise my voice